I've got my Mini Z 4x4 here. As you can see, I've been doing a few upgrades to it already. Brass parts, got some big heavy aluminum Enduro wheels here with some big tires. And I've been looking for just a little bit more torque and a little bit, better crawling out of it lately. I found some parts and I'm gonna just do a motor upgrade today. Figured I'd show everybody what I'm doing as we go along. Parts wise, we've got this PN Racing motor, which is actually meant for the SCX24. I'm really surprised that they don't make a version of this for the Mini Z 4x4 because this is a 130 size motor. So anyway, we're going to be swapping this into it. This has several advantages over the stock motor. First, it's, as you can see, 90 turn. I think the stock motor in the Mini Z 4x4 is 70 turns or so. More turns means more torque and a little bit slower speed, so that should be nice. It also has nice brushes, a big fat commutator in there. I don't know if you can see it. Ball bearings on both ends as well, unlike the brass bushings in the stock motor, and nicely vented as well. So I think this thing is like 15 bucks from PN Racing. I can't remember where I bought it, but I'll put a link to it in the description or something. So that's that. Also bought just some motor leads for Mini Zs. I think the pack was like $3, so we're gonna need that because this has the plug on it for an SCX24. And then also I bought some neodymium magnets for it. I've got these silver ones that are very thick. I got these on AliExpress for I think $3 a pair or something. And then also the official PN Racing gold neo magnets. These are quite thin in comparison. Well, yeah, you can see how much thinner they are, which still should give you much better torque compared to the stock ceramic magnets in the motor, but just a little bit more RPM than these big guys, if that's something you wanted. So just some options for customization. Figured I might try them both out. So first thing I'm going to do is open up this motor and swap in some Neo mags and go from there. This part's pretty straightforward. We just have these two tabs on the motor. They need to be bent out just slightly. They make it pretty easy on us, it looks like, so that's nice. Okay, got that. And bam. All right, nice. You can see our brushes. These are replaceable brushes. It's the same end bell that PN Racing uses in a lot of their racing motors for Mini Zs. Same brushes, and you can see the ball bearing back there too, so that's awesome. Not going to be quite as good if you were trying to run through mud or whatever, but I'm not concerned about that. This is going to be an indoor crawler only for me, so here's our armature. I will actually pull the commutator or pull the armature out of the stock motor too, just so we can compare. Got a PN Racing part number there, lots of windings, balanced. Yeah, looks like good stuff. And there are ceramic magnets and the ball bearing in the other end too. Okay, I'm gonna rip the stock motor out of the Mini Z now, and we're gonna compare them. Okay, stock motor, really nothing special. Brass bushings, this end. Very little venting, which, like I said, is good for water intrusion, but bad for cooling if you're gonna be running this thing hard. So there are a lot of options with these little 130 motors, especially with how much aftermarket support there is, thanks to Mini Zs and the Tamiya Mini 4x4s, I think is what they call them. Just a second, I need to do this off camera. Okay, we're back. Wow. I do not remember them making them that difficult to get into. It took me a minute to bend those tabs back. They really clamp them down from the factory, but we can pop this off now. Our brushes are still soldered to the can here, so we're gonna have to flip those up. There we are. Okay, those are out of the way. Now I gotta get the pinion gear off so we can pull the armature out and check it out. Okay, easy peasy, that just pops off with a screwdriver. Let's see what we got here. Like I was saying before, the possibilities of the options of motor upgrades with these is kind of crazy. I can't believe I haven't seen more people experimenting with this stuff. I mean, if you just need a little bit more torque, you can just swap neomagnets into the stock motor. If you're looking for a little better battery time, you take the stock armature, stock magnets, put them in a ball bearing can, which you can also buy from PN Racing for, I don't know, $10 or something. Go the route I'm doing with upgraded armature, more windings, ball bearings, vented can. What am I missing? Neomagnets. Yeah, the possibilities are really endless to get just the right combination of, you know, runtime, speed, torque, and cost that you're looking for. So anyway, here we go. There are the stock windings, really thin gauge wire. I'm surprised by how thin it is compared to the PN Racing. You can see that the commutator there is way thicker. You're going to get a ton more power through the motor there, and the size of the wire is way thicker too. I mean, it's even noticeably heavier in the hand. So much more wire on there, and that's going to make a huge difference to the punch and the torque that we're going to get out of this thing. Yeah, pretty awesome upgrade for $15, looks like. Anyway, quick comparing those. Compare the cans real quick. They both have these ceramic magnets. PN Racing motor has thicker magnets, it looks like, already, but we're going to swap those out for the Neomags real quick. Actually decent brushes on the stock Mini Z motor, but they really pale in comparison to these guys. Those are nice. I don't know if I'd recommend taking this apart if you don't have to. These little tabs are an absolute pain, and you kind of bend the can out of shape a little bit if you're not really careful. So I'd say if you're going to take apart your stock Mini Z motor, just go ahead and upgrade to a ball bearing can anyway. You can get ones that are sealed up, almost as good as these. And I don't know how much extra runtime it'll get you, but it should be at least some. So I don't know, maybe that's another video for another day. Now let's pull these magnets out and throw some neomagnets in. I'm gonna go with these really thick ones. These are the AliExpress ones. I'm looking for, you know, a torque monster, so yeah, I'm gonna go with these. But like I said, these are always an option if you want a little more power. They should give you even more power than the stock PN Racing magnets, and a little bit better speed than what you're gonna get from these really chunky neomagnets. So what we got to do is just pull these clips out, these like U-shaped clips, top and bottom. Then our magnet should slide right out. So just grab them here. Try to be careful not to let them fly away. One, just pull them out with your fingers. Polarity of the magnets. Yeah, one is north and one is south, but for our purposes, it won't matter. Our armature is not timed for any specific rotation direction, or I should say our brushes and our commutator aren't timed for it. Some racing motors, they'll advance the timing on them for extra speed in the forward direction. But ours is clocked at 0 degrees, so it doesn't matter. If it spins the wrong way, when we go to hook it up, we'll just flip the wires. We're good. So, magnets. These things are incredibly sticky, so be careful with them. If you accidentally let them smack together, they can shatter. They're pretty brittle. Magnet number 1 in the can. Push it all the way down. Boom. Magnet number 2. Easy. Springs have to go back in. Do not forget the springs or you will have a catastrophic motor failure. Everything is harder when it all wants to stick together. These are very sticky. Okay. Okay, spring 1 in. Spring 2 in. Push all the way down to the front of the can. Put the armature back in now. Very sticky. Okay, armature's in. I love how those shiny neodymium magnets look inside these. This motor, you can't see them, but some of the vented motors with bigger holes on the can, you can just catch a glimpse of the neo magnets from the outside. They look really nice. Actually, you know what? I will. I'm gonna pop these brushes off of the end of this motor first, then put the bell on, and then pop the brushes back on. Here we go. I'm not showing you. So you can just pop them up. They've got these little tabs. There we go. Comes right off. Boom. Same for this side. Nice. Yeah, that just prevents them from getting bent up trying to put this end back on. Now this just slides right on here. I'm gonna go ahead and bend these tabs back down, and I'm gonna do it off camera because I have to push on them. Okay, beautiful. Just crimped those down with my needle nose pliers. Now I'm gonna put the brushes back on. Again, doesn't matter which side because we're gonna have to figure out our polarity once we get this thing back in the truck anyways. Okay, brushes slide in like this. You gotta hook them under here. Turn. And then you can push them down onto these tabs. And it'll click into place. Just like that. That's another awesome thing about this style of 130 end bell is that you can swap brushes without having to take the motor apart. Pretty awesome. You can also upgrade brushes. You can get carbon, silver, I don't know what even all the options are, but if you're looking for even more power out of one of these, swapping out these brushes might do something for you. Really the biggest benefit is longevity of the motor. If you burn up the brushes, you replace the brushes, you don't replace the entire motor. Pretty cool. This is just way more convenient and you don't have to open up the can every time. Eventually, if you open this up and close it, these tabs are gonna break on you. All right, that's all back together. Now, I'm gonna replace this wire lead with some of these PN Racing ones. Then I'm gonna put the pinion on this motor, and then I'm gonna throw it in the truck and see what it does. Oh, it feels super clicky already, which is exactly what we want to feel. The drag brake effect on this should be much stronger as well. We should get a slower crawl speed. We should get more torque. I'm going to pull these wires off. So I'm actually going to clip them down, and I'm going to make them maybe 1/4 of an inch shorter than the stock ones. Just because the stock had a little bit more slack than it needs to, and I like it to be super clean under there. Yeah, I'm gonna trim like 1/2 inch off these or something, and then solder them on. Okay, got my leads cut, stripped, tinned. Gonna pull these off real quick. Okay, so I'll solder these leads on real quick. Beautiful. Last thing, stick the pinion on here. I think that should be good. Nice. Okay, now I'm gonna throw it in the truck. Okay, that's on. Looks like motor wires are gonna reach very nicely. I'm gonna actually bend these up at a right angle because this way they're not gonna fit super well. Once again, we ignore the polarity markings on the board. If you're really anal about it, you can always go back and resolder your motor leads to match. Or you can open the can up and rip the magnets out and switch them around if you're really, really crazy about it. But yeah, there's no performance difference because these motors are clocked at 0 degrees. Okay, motor leads are on. By the way, in case you're wondering about the capacitors that I did not install on this motor that are present on the stock motor, I say don't worry about them. What they do is allow very, very high frequency AC current to pass from the positive or the negative leads into the can of the motor. And this, I don't even know what that is. A fuse? Is that a thermal fuse? I'm not sure, but it's not necessary either. If you're getting radio interference after installing a new motor, then you might want to look at installing these capacitors. They're 103 capacitors. Like I said, really all they do is protect the radio from interference from really high frequency AC noise generated by the spinning motor. With this being 2.4 gigahertz and the speeds we're spinning this motor at, I don't foresee any problems. I think it was a problem back in the days of, 27 megahertz when we all had crystals in our radios, but these days it's really a non-issue. And I like the nice clean look of having no capacitors on there. So, yeah, all right, I'm gonna fire this thing up and see if my motor is spinning the right way. Forward. Uh-oh. No movement. Huh. Well. That is the way things go sometimes. All right, let's see what the deal is. Okay, motor is completely removed from the truck now. I didn't want to keep testing it with the board in the truck. So I've got it hooked up to my benchtop power supply. I'm just gonna start at like, I don't know, 2 volts or something. See if we can get this to spin. Okay. I don't understand what's up with this because it spins freely with my fingers. So I wonder if it just needs to be broken in a little bit. 2.5 volts. No. 3 volts. Nothing. 4 volts. It wants to spin. What's up with this? 4 volts. It is locked up. Ah, I think I know what happened here. I stupidly had 2 pairs of magnets and I installed half of each pair in my motor. Yeah, I installed 2 north magnets or 2 south magnets in my motor. Okay, taking it all apart. Yeah, that was definitely it. These 2 were stuck together. The other 2 were on the other side. Didn't even think of it. Don't buy... If you're going to buy 2 pairs of these, remember you need 1 of each. Okay, there we go. All fixed. Yeah, that was dumb. I really should have known better. Stupid mistake. Just to reiterate what the problem was, when you buy your pair of neodymium magnets, they need to stick to each other like this. Not like... I'm not going to be able to get them close to each other. Not like this. They need to stick to each other like this. They need to have opposite poles on the inside. I had ones that stick to each other like this in there, which means I had 2 norths or 2 souths, I don't know which is which, facing my armature of my motor, which is not going to work. That's going to make the motor lock up and do nothing. So, back on the power supply, let's do... Shouldn't need much. Let's do 1.8 volts. Oh, it's spinning. We need a little more voltage. There we go. That's 2.1 volts. .2 volts. 5 volts. Just out of curiosity, for shits and giggles, I put the stock motor back together, hooked it up to the bench power supply. This is at 4.8 volts. You can hear how loud that is. It's sitting in my fingers right now. I don't know if you can detect it on camera, but to my ears, this sounds significantly quieter, which is going to be pretty nice too. Yeah, that's a plus. Just thought I'd mention it. Okay. Motor is back in the truck now. Time for the moment of truth, part 2. I've got steering and forward. Backwards. Forward is backwards and backwards is forwards. Okay, just gotta swap my wires then. Okay, wires are swapped. I ended up matching the original polarity, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Wow, I can already tell this thing is gonna be radical. Wow, it's slow. Okay, I'm gonna crawl over some shit. First thing I can tell right off the bat is, wow, this thing is slow. Like, let's see, I'll do a straight stretch back here. Full throttle right there. That's it. Slow, which I personally really like. This is a crawler. I don't need to be going fast. That's all I need. It's got tons of punch. It feels like it's gonna do a wheelie. In fact, it kind of is doing a wheelie. That's with these giant wheels and tires, brass knuckles on the front, aluminum wheels. It's got a lot of weight in the front, and it's trying to do a wheelie. It's lifting up that front right tire a lot. So that's insane. The torque and the power that this thing has now is nuts. And it's super smooth. Once you get it going, the variability in the throttle is so much better than the stock motor. One thing I don't love about it is it takes quite a bit of throttle travel on the controller to get it to start moving. Here, I'll show you. There, you can see the truck there. You can hear it whining. There. So that's a lot of throttle travel before it starts moving. But once you get it there, you can back off and then really crawl. So I'm not sure what's up with that. It could be that my Neo magnets are just a little bit too strong for this guy, and maybe I should downsize to the PN Racing Gold ones that are just a little less chunky. And what those big, thick, really strong Neo magnets do is they make it kind of coggy. So the motor might kind of be having a tough time overcoming its own magnetic field and getting that very first rotation, and that's why it takes a fair bit of power to get it moving. And then once it is moving, you can really slow it down and it's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna have to experiment with that. I'm definitely gonna try it out. I think I can open up this motor can at least one more time and I'll be okay without those tabs breaking off, even though I had my little mishap. But yeah, look out for some more detailed comparison videos between this and the stock motor. I'm gonna do like some minimum crawling speed stuff, and yeah, I don't know what else we can test, but I don't know, maybe I can even do some noise testing, because I do think this is quite a bit quieter than the stock motor. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.